First fire up with the new Tuono V4 LV10 pipe. Whew. Welcome back, guys. Today is Sunday. I think it's the 16th. I don't know. I can't remember what day it is. Ride number 2 on the Aprilia. Obviously, we've got the exhaust installed, which sounds so much better. No errors thanks to the servo eliminator. I fully removed the servo. I didn't even bother trying to leave it there and like zip tie the wires or any of that. I just straight up removed it. It looked a little ridiculous with that on there, so I was like, you know, let's just make it go away. It doesn't need to be here. Yeah, this is only ride number 2 on this thing. I still haven't gotten any real miles on it yet. Try to get these tires warmed up a little bit. The weather is supposed to turn really shitty here in like the next day or two. So I'm trying to get this ride in before it gets really bad. I don't even know where the heck I'm going to go today. I'm just going to randomly just kind of cruise. Just do something different. And I'm not even sure if the clock is right, because what I did is I finally hooked up a battery tender lead as well. So that way I can actually like direct connect to the battery without having to remove the seat. Because unlike on my MV, where it was literally just a simple like quarter turn, you know, finger bolt kind of thing, this actually has 2 Allen keys that I have to remove just to pull the seat up and get to the battery. And the thing that was nice about the MV, despite it having like its own proprietary connector, is it actually had a connector for battery charging. This doesn't from the factory, at least not from what I can tell. So I made the decision. I'm like, all right, you know, trying to put some wire leads in there and make it a little easier on me. Obviously, I got the quad lock back on. I'm using kind of like this aftermarket. I don't even know what the brand is. I'll have to throw it up. But I found it on Amazon. And it's super highly rated for what it is. Like, everybody that's bought any of their stuff says it's like 100% compatible with quad lock. And it's good stuff, and it doesn't cost an arm and a leg. And I can confirm all of those statements are 100% true. I'm very impressed with it. It's very, very straightforward, very high quality nylon, and it works 100%. Like, there's zero interference or any kind of weirdness with it. It's like a direct fit with quad lock. So that's cool. Especially considering I don't want to spend like $50 or $60 on some like overpriced nylon from quad lock to begin with. Which I already made that mistake once, so I get it. They're in the business of making money and being a company that caters to kind of a niche market. It's also one of those things that I'd rather buy once than twice, especially if all I need is just like some minor accessory. Last ride with this, the first ride, you guys might remember me talking about how the exhaust smelled like candle wax, or something smelled like candle wax. That was indeed the exhaust. It was breaking in. When I shut the bike off at home, it literally was like smoking for like probably a good 5-10 minutes out the pipe. Yeah, needless to say, I'm glad to have that thing gone. This sounds much better now. It's still not like crazy loud because it still has the cat underneath, but it sounds better. I can at least hear the damn thing, which is good. And the Tuono V4 pipe really wasn't that expensive for what it is, which is nice. It's pretty nice quality for what you pay for. Sounds good. Looks good. It's not bad. Pretty happy with it. I still don't really know where I'm going. I'm actually going the wrong way from where I wanted to go. I still haven't messed with any of the settings on this thing, by the way. I'm still trying to wrap my head around the manual because there's like 80 different settings on this bike that control all different aspects of how it maneuvers and how much power it gives me. I have confirmed the throttle is mostly down to a setting related issue. It does still have some kind of like fueling related stuff that could be better. It's not entirely down to the factory tune as to why this thing has like kind of a twitchy throttle. There's more to it than that. Just trying to soak in as much of this nice weather as I can before we have to park this thing for a little while. Because we don't really even know like how long this weather pattern's gonna last that's coming in. There's so many unknowns with this storm, and a lot of the, expert weather dudes are saying that it's a good chance that it might stay like this into December. So this might be the last recording for a little while on the bike. I just don't know. I don't think anybody really knows, which is why there's so many bikes and stuff out trying to soak up this weather. Oh man, this thing is so effortless. Like I'm barely even touching the throttle and it just picks up and goes. I love it. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, I put Cox radiator guards on this thing. Cox Racing. Supposedly it's like one of the best companies out there for airflow, so I was like, well, screw it, can't hurt. Especially considering I don't really want to damage my brand new radiator and oil cooler. And the factory plastic thing that they threw on there is really not doing shit, in my opinion. So, yeah. It looks nice. They're red anodized. I didn't get something that was black. I wanted something that had a little more character to it. I wish I got out earlier and got to really enjoy this, but whatever. Not the end of the world. At least I still managed to salvage a little bit of the day. If I'd started a little earlier, I probably would have been done sooner, but honestly, like, ooh, looky here. There's deer. See him? Yeah, 5 of them. That is the one sketchy part about this time of day on these kinds of roads is we get a lot of deer back here. So you kind of got to be a little careful about what you're doing. They usually like to hide when it's nice and hot out, but when it's temperatures like these, you got to be real careful because they start coming out looking for food, especially in the evening hours. Yeah, this is all like the horse country and kind of the back areas where there's like a little bit of property. Some people have like good amounts of property out here and some of them don't. It's kind of just old families that have been here pretty much forever. We get literally a little bit of everything where I live in terms of like houses and animals and scenery. We get it all. It's pretty back here, isn't it? A little different. I don't get back here as much as I'd like to. Primarily because I'm not trying to scare anybody or scare the animals. It is like technically slower rural road, but for the most part, most people just haul ass through here. We're actually kind of behind some people that aren't really used to living here, I think. That guy might be the exception, maybe. I would love to know. Oh, there we go. 24 miles so far. and I've been averaging just under 30 miles an hour. That's interesting. I feel like the shifter's kind of starting to break in a little bit now. That's cool. 575 to go until the first service. It's a nice little test track. It's kind of mostly straight with a few minor corners, nothing crazy. If you go further back, it really opens up into like lots of straight, you know, straightaways and some curves. There's not a ton, but you got to go like further back that way. And I think there's some more that way, but it's mostly residential. The really open roads and stuff are way that direction. Like another, I don't know, 15, 20-minute ride that direction. Which is not too bad, but it's kind of starting to get dark, and I've got my gold visor on as usual, so I'm already noticing the amount of light is disappearing quickly. So there's a new neighborhood up here just over this rise. I don't know how far they've gotten with it, but they kind of started like cranking on it last year. And there used to be cops that would hang out in that area. So I'm curious if there's any sitting there tonight. Yeah, it doesn't look like it. Looks like they're finally starting to let people live in peace over here. That's nice. Yeah, all of this was still under development here like a year ago. Now it's like built out. Well, not built out, but you know what I mean. They're just kind of slapping stuff together nowadays. It's kind of crazy. So they start at 800 grand and they're century homes. I mean, I would take that for 800 grand. That's pretty cool. But I don't know if I'd take one of those smaller homes for 800 grand. Houses out here are just so stupid expensive these days. It's insane. And you're not even really that close to like major civilization. You're out here kind of in the middle of nowhere, see? I mean, it's not far of a drive to get to civilization, so to speak, but it's not exactly close either. Still kind of light on the mileage for the tires. I'd like to have at least 50 miles on them before I'm happy. Especially with some gradually increasing corners. I want to see if I can stop somewhere and maybe fiddle with the settings a little bit. I kind of want to go straight because I've never been back there. There's neutral. I think engine map is the most aggressive. Engine brake is good. We don't need to change that. Traction control's fine. ABS is good. Slide control. Dampening control. So that's sport active. That's road active. Let's try road active. I gotta be honest, I kind of feel like I preferred sport active. Yeah, lights are starting to come on. It's starting to get dark. Road closed. Well, that's no fun. And that is a gated community, so we are going to turn around. Because we are not cool people. I mean, we're cool people, but we're not that cool. I could have snuck in there, but honestly, they've got cameras and stuff, and that's the last thing I need. God, my shoulder is really starting to bug me. I might have to cut this ride short just because it's starting to hurt. I don't know what the heck I did. Must have been something that I was doing when I was installing all the parts. Kind of ruined me a little bit. I like that I can change my position on this seat. There's so much room to move on it. It's very nice. It's actually very comfortable too. Not that the seat on the MV was bad, but this is more plush. Feels nice on my bum. Let's go this way. Yeah, I gotta be honest. I feel like I prefer road active. Crap. And of course, as soon as I find neutral. Oh. There we go. Okay. We're good. Oh yeah, so much better. Yeah, road active just, it felt more bumpy somehow. I don't know, maybe I need to like just tailor the settings to my liking. It's a little stiffer than I remember the test ride Tuono being. Try not to talk too much for some of this, so that way you guys can just listen to the bike. But I also realize the microphone's like basically in my face, so I really do need to get like a second mic just so you guys can listen to the outside. How many miles have I put on? Some. Not a lot, but some. Feels nice to be stretching the bike out and doing some stuff for a change. Feels nice to be on a bike that I feel like I could just keep riding and riding and riding. I gotta be honest, the controls are starting to get more familiar now. It's one nice thing about being on a naked bike too, is you can like just stretch out a little bit and then just like cool off your bits. Ugh, feels so good. Fresh air. I like it. Woo. Very nice. Still trying to use the clutch as much as possible. I'd like to get at least 100 miles on the clutch before I start using the quick shifter. Because that's about what I did on the MV, is probably about 100 miles before I started using the quick shifter almost entirely. I just want the gears to get a nice solid base. I can feel the bike kind of loosening up a little bit, like it's slowly becoming more in its own rhythm, which is good. That means it's actually breaking in properly. Woohoo! Oh my god. I cannot begin to tell you how nice it is to have this suspension after coming off the MV. The MV, I swear, every time that you'd hit a bump, like of any kind, you had to ride like a competition horse almost, where you had to lift your butt off the seat. Otherwise, you were just gonna get fucking schwacked. This thing, not even a problem. Not even a little bit. It is so nice. It just absorbs it and goes, okay, what else? I'm assuming this thing has an ambient temperature sensor on it, but I just don't know where to look for it. Because like I said, I'm kind of like guessing with a lot of things on this bike. The manual was no help. Like just trying to go through all the pages and everything and trying to figure out like what does what, it really doesn't describe it all that well. That's one thing Aprilia could really use, is like a better manual person. You know, rather than giving us a fucking book that's like eons fucking long, give us a manual that's just like condensed down, so like the important bits are all together and just translated in like 3 languages or 2, you know, wherever your biggest markets are, basically. And I realize, obviously, America's not a big market for Aprilia. I mean, it's slowly becoming that way, but it's... Up until a couple of years ago, Aprilias were kind of like MVs. They just weren't that, you know, common around here. I'm almost up to 50 miles. Now, obviously, I realize I could do a lot of this on highway, but then I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing. And like doing throttle on, throttle off, things like that. Just trying to get those rings bedded in, get the valves seated. Lots of engine braking, things like that, just trying to get the motor happy. One thing that got commented to me on the Aprilia forum was apparently the US markers. Like, not a lot of people have seen the US Tuono for 2026. They said the US markers are freaking huge. And admittedly, like, I haven't been really paying attention to them, to be honest, because I was like, okay, you know, they're indicators, whatever. And I always knew that, like, when I did the Euro software, I was gonna have the Euro headlights to do the turn signals in the headlight, you know, once I got the mapping. So it really wasn't that big of a deal. Like, I haven't ever really paid attention to them. But I guess the guys that like have never seen the US spec indicators were freaking out when I posted photos of it. They're like, holy crap, those things are huge. I'm like, yeah, they're big. They kind of look a little goofy, I guess. I don't care personally. I think they look fine. They obviously are not the most aesthetically pleasing things in the world, but hey, they get the job done. They're nice and bright and they're visible. That's what really matters to me. Now, if they were freaking tiny and you couldn't really see them for shit, then I'd be real upset. So the one thing I still don't really understand, like what Aprilia was thinking, was integrating the brake light and turn signals and the running light in the back into just the turn signals in the back. It is the most goofy shit thing I've ever seen in my life. I know they did it so that way it's easier to remove it for track use, but good God, like, we can figure it out, Aprilia. Like, come on, guys. It's not like we can remove it at the fucking track and then not have a warning. I mean, shit, yeah, you guys gave that to the Euro guys, but the rest of us here in the US got screwed by that. I don't think they were really thinking that far ahead with us. If they were, probably wouldn't be a thing. I'm gonna go back way into my neighborhood. Hey, dipshit, turn your lights on. Well, thanks for coming with me, guys. I hope you enjoyed this ride. It was kind of quiet. We didn't really talk too awful much, but again, I think you guys just really prefer to hear the bike anyway. So I need to do some audio separately with this thing and record like a proper short or something like that with it. When I do that, I'll go ahead and, you know, I'll post it up. You guys will see it on my Instagram. I'm sure I'll probably share it on YouTube as well. So that way, you know, you can properly hear it with the slip-on with the cat. Because I know there's a lot of people that are going like, oh my God, it doesn't sound that great with the cat still in. Like, yeah, well, it sounds good enough. I mean, mind you, yeah, I do want to get rid of the cat and I want to throw a proper tune on it at some point, but for now, it's fine. It's just enough noise that I don't feel like it sounds like shit. And that's all that matters. So anyway, until next time, see you dudes!